Do you sometimes just feel so burned out going through your spiritual awakening, through your ascension, doing all these activations, these healing and just learning and all of those different things, and you just feel so burned out that just everything is just too much for you, and you're wondering how to get back into the flow of just enjoying life again to make this journey less overwhelming and frustrating? Now, if that's you, if you really would like to know how to really break through your spiritual burnout and get back into the flow, then this video is for you, because I want to share with you how you can really break through this burnout and get back into the flow, because this journey that you're on, the spiritual awakening journey, is meant to be enjoyed, is meant to be embraced, but there can be times when you feel very burned out just by everything that's going on, where everything is just too much for you. So if that's you, if you want to learn how to really break through that and get back into flow, then stay tuned, because I want to share with you some powerful tips on how to do that. Hello to beautiful soul, welcome back. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm super excited that you're here. Now, in case you don't know who I am, my name is Kay Sanders. I'm a divine messenger and celestial healer, here to assist awakening souls on their spiritual awakening journey. So to make the journey less overwhelming and frustrating, but really to awaken to their power within, step into their power and create a life of more success, abundance and freedom, all while making a bigger impact in the world and embracing their spiritual awakening journey. So if that's you, I do want to extend an invitation for you to subscribe to my channel and also hit the notification bell so you can get notified whenever I release new content. So what exactly is spiritual burnout and why does it happen? Now, as you're on your spiritual awakening journey, you are ascending, you are waking up, and that can cause so much overwhelm where you really feel so burned out because you're expanding so rapidly, you're learning so much, you are really being activated on such a deep level, and especially if there's energetic things going on as well. Now, in August, there was a lot going on from the new moon, the full moon, the Lion's Gate, and we are being activated all on a collective level to really embrace our path moving forward. And even if you are very sensitive to the energy, the thing is, anytime when these cosmic events happen, there are new light codes that are being infused into you, and your body can only, if you're not integrating it, if it's too much, then your body is going to go into spiritual burnout. Now also, if you are on this journey and you're learning a lot, let's say you're reading a lot of books, you're taking a lot of courses, you're consuming a lot of videos, you're just learning, eventually it is going to be too much. It's like, think of it like that. When the cup is full, you can't pour anything else in there anymore, right? Now, that is another thing. And also, if, for example, you are in resistance, let's say you don't know what you don't know, right? If you're on your spiritual awakening journey, there's so much happening that is simply unknown to you. And if you don't really know what's going on, it can also cause you to move into resistance, which then also, it's a constant fight with you trying to awaken, but then everything is so overwhelming and frustrating. So is there inner turmoil going on. It's like an inner war or inner tug of war, like going back and forth, which can also leave you just very exhausted if you always experience this inner tug of war. That's really what a spiritual burnout is all about. Is like, it's just too much is too much. And it happens because maybe you're not integrating, maybe you don't know what's going on, or you're in resistance, or you're simply expanding so rapidly that your body is the last thing to kind of ascend, to catch up. So think of it like that. Your spiritual, your mental, and your emotional body is already a lot further along, and then your physical body is like, hey, hold on, let me catch up here. So eventually your body is going to burn out, and that's what can cause this whole spiritual burnout, where everything is just too much. Think of it like that, like you have this major to-do list and you're just looking at the to-do list, you're like, oh no, I can't do that, right? And it makes it so hard to just get out of bed in the morning and just to go about your day. Everything is just so much harder and feels so challenging. But wouldn't it be nice if we could break through this burnout and get back to stepping into the flow? Well, if you're ready for that, then I have some tips for you that can help you do just that. Because spiritual awakening is meant to be embraced, not resisted. And yes, there may be going to be some times where you feel a little burnt out, where everything is too much, but that's why these tips that I'm going to share with you, you can always implement them to help you break through anytime when you are going through somewhat of a spiritual burnout, or not feeling a little stuck. The first tip is journal as a release. Now, journaling is so powerful, but it's even more powerful when you're doing it with intention. Now, I'm not talking about just doing a daily journal where you just write about your day and what you experienced. No, what I'm talking about here is if you are going through a phase of spiritual burnout, use journaling as a release, because you can write about all that you're going through. Because usually when you're going through a spiritual burnout, you're also having a lot of stuff that's coming up, that's trying to come to the surface in order to be released. So when you use journaling as a release method, you can really let go of all that overflow. Think of it like that. When the cup is full, going back to the cup analogy, when the cup is full, it's just starting to flow over, right? So it's like the same thing when you're flowing over. You can release that overflow by putting it on paper and releasing it. Now, you can also, to be even more intentional, you can actually write it just on paper and then burn the papers, like really let it go. That is so powerful in releasing all that emotional overflow, that tension that you're feeling during that spiritual burnout. So using journaling with the intention of letting go, of releasing, is so powerful. And you can write about whatever you want. You can write about the things that bother you, the things that don't make you feel good, the things that upset you, the frustration part, any of those things. Now, you can also write about the good things if you want, but as we're talking about the releasing part, I want to suggest focus on the things you actually want to let go of, the things that you want to release. And then you can burn the papers, or you can just simply write it in your journal as the release. But then as you're releasing it, as you're writing it, really be intentional about it. Think of it like that all the negative energy comes out of your body, out of your hand, into out of the pen or pencil, whatever you're using, into the paper. Like, really be intentional that you're releasing it through your writing, or actually I'm writing it, so releasing it through your writing into the papers. So that can be a good release mechanism as well. Then the second part is self-care is a must. If you are going through a burnout, a spiritual burnout, it's not advised to just keep pushing, just trying to push through whatever's going on. That actually causes even more resistance, and it causes more burnout, because I mean, if your battery is low, you can't go at 100%, right? So take time for stillness, take time to be in the moment, take time to meditate, to relax, to pamper yourself. Do something where you can really relax and recharge. And I'm not talking about sitting on the couch and reading yet another book. That is not what I'm talking about. Yes, maybe your body is relaxing, but your mind is not. If you keep feeding your mind with certain things, like say watching videos or doing training or anything like that, yes, your body may be relaxing, but you are still trying to go at 100% when you cannot. So self-care is truly, truly important. And it's okay if you take some time to yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. We do need time for self-care. Even if you feel like you just want to go to bed at 8 o'clock in the evening instead of your 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock or whatnot. If you feel like you want to go to bed earlier, do that. If you feel like you want to sleep a little longer in the morning, if you can, if you don't have to get up to go to work, then do that. Maybe take some time even where you turn off your phone. Put your phone away, put it on silent, or turn it off altogether. Don't check your emails or social media or whatnot. Just take a break. Really, self-care is so important. You got to take care of yourself. If you are not at 100%, you cannot give 100%, right? So self-care is really important. The next piece is let go of what doesn't serve you anymore. Now, this can be emotional stuff, they can be beliefs, habits, physical, mental, spiritual, anything that doesn't serve you anymore. Let go of the baggage. That's what I'm saying. Like, let go of what doesn't serve you anymore. Even people, situations, the way of being, whatever doesn't serve you anymore, let it go. just drop the baggage, because oftentimes when we're holding on to things that are not serving us, it's sucking us dry. It's draining our energy. It's same with, if, for example, if you're around people that are very toxic and you know that every time when you're around them, you're just so tired afterwards. You're all of a sudden you're having all these weird thoughts. This is a good indicator that these people are not serving you. So allow yourself to just let them go. And if it's a situation where you can't let them go, just learn to protect yourself, protect your energy, to help you not get bogged down by this. And I have a video I want to share with you. It's how to protect your energy as an empath, because I'm assuming if you're on your spiritual awakening journey, you most likely are an empath. You're very sensitive to the energies. So I have a video where I share with you how can you protect your energy. So if you are around people, especially let's say you're working and in the office or at your job, there are a lot of people that are very toxic or that are just energy vampires. You want to really take care of yourself and protect yourself by really protecting your energy. But outside of that, really allow yourself to let go of what no longer serves you, because you want to really make room for better stuff to come. And in order to do that, you got to let go of what no longer serves you. If you're holding on to all these things that no longer serve you, whether it's people, situations, your beliefs, your doubts and things like that on an emotional, spiritual, mental and physical level, anything that doesn't serve you anymore, all that baggage, if you're not letting it go, nothing good can come in. You got to let go of the old first in order to allow in the new. So let go of the baggage. Allow yourself to let go of what no longer serves you, so you can really free yourself from that. It is so liberating when you let go of those things. Even let's say your house is very cluttered, or your apartment or your room is very cluttered. Let go of that stuff. Throw out all the things that no longer serve you, that you don't need anymore. It is so liberating when you drop the baggage on basically all levels. And the next part here is take a break from the learning, from the healing, from the spiritual practices. Integration is necessary. So when you are learning a lot of those things, when you're doing a lot of healing sessions, for example, or you're doing a lot of activations, or you're just learning a lot, there's going to be a time when you need to just integrate, when you need to apply what you have learned. Going back to the cup analogy, when the cup is full, you can't put more into it. And this is very, very important. Like, I used to do a lot of healing sessions, and one activation after another, one course after another, one learning and reading a book after another. And at one point, it's just like, it felt like nothing could come in anymore. And that's what I'm saying, is you need time to integrate. Anytime you're doing a healing session, for example, or you're listening to an activation, whether it's on my YouTube channel or somewhere else, you need time to integrate. Because anytime you're also, even during your spiritual awakening journey, anytime you're awakening more, you need to get used to that new way of being. Whenever you're healing something, whenever you have a healing session, for example, or you listen to an activation, something is happening within you that needs time to, you need to find your new normal again. The new normal after you had let go of that stuff, or after you have activated something. So you need time to integrate. You really need that time to allow whatever happened, whatever healing, whatever release was going on, and also the activation to unfold. It's not an instant that you're healed and then you all of a sudden you're feeling good again. It takes time to integrate. So if you have a time where you have one session after another, one healing after another, one activation after another, and hey, I'm at fault here too. I used to do a lot of activation, like in the beginning stages. I went on YouTube. I listened to one activation after another. Every single day I did an activation. And at one point I crashed, because your body is not used to all of that. So you're really causing your body a shock if you do a lot of healing and activations without giving yourself the time to integrate. And of course, also, when you're learning different modalities, when you're learning different things, especially on the mindset level and things like that, the empowerment part, you got to implement that too. You got to apply what you have learned. So when you are going through a spiritual burnout, just take time away from it. Like, stop. Take a break from all the learning, the healing, the integrating. Give yourself the time to just settle back in, to integrate all that has happened. And if you need a time away from all of it, give yourself the time. Usually spiritual burnouts mean take a break. Take a break. It's okay to just get back to living life again. Which brings me on to the next part is, get back to doing something fun. Allow your inner child to come out and play again. When was the last time you just did something absolutely quirky that, you know, your inner child, when was the last time you let your inner child come out and play? Have some fun without thinking about your to-do list and the things you want to do, the things you have to do, your bills, your obligations. When was the last time you really just did something fun, just for the heck of it? Get back to doing something like that. When you're having fun, you're already uplifting your energy already, because it's fun and joy is just higher vibration. So let go of all the learning and all that stuff. Go back to doing something fun. That is so refreshing too, because your inner child is still part of you. Let it come out and play. If you don't, it's like you're putting your inner child on lockdown. You're putting it in a jail basically. So allow yourself some time to just have fun. Do something that really brings you joy. Something that just lights you up from within. And then that brings me to the next part is, learn to be okay where you're at. And I get it, when you're on this spiritual awakening journey, you may wish you would be further along. Maybe you wish you would be able to learn how to manifest with more ease. Maybe you are going through a challenging time right now and you just want to find your way out of it. Maybe you are feeling lost and you're wondering, how am I going to make it out of here? And you're thinking that learning and healing and doing all these things will help you get there faster. But just be okay with where you're at, because you're right where you're meant to be. I remember I used to say, I wish I would have uncovered my spiritual gifts and had my awakening sooner. But quite frankly, I wasn't ready to awaken sooner. It happened when it happened, because it was the right timing. If I would have learned about all that spiritual stuff, you know, way before, I wouldn't have not been ready for that. And you too, you are right where you're meant to be. Everything happens in divine timing. Everything happens to our highest and greatest good. And everything happens for a reason. Now, usually I say it the other way around, but you get the point. It's like, you are right where you're meant to be. You're not meant to be further along, because maybe you wouldn't even be ready to be further along. Or not just maybe, you are not ready to be further along. You're right where you're meant to be. You're growing in the speed that is right for you. That is the speed that you're meant to evolve. And there's going to be time when you take leaps, and there's going to be time when you need to slow things down. It's like ebb and flow. Right? Sometimes you're going to have a time when you're jumping forward, when you're really going all in. But then you're also going to have times where you may experience that spiritual burnout, and that requires time for you to just take a step back. Allow things to integrate. And just be okay with where you're at. Be okay with having a little downtime. It's all right. You are still going to get to where you're meant to be. You can't speed it up by just pushing through and just making it happen and ignoring that you're feeling absolutely burnt out. No, you get there by honoring yourself, that when you're feeling burnt out, when you're feeling a little lost, that you just take some time, just go within and give yourself the time that you need. Giving yourself time for self-care. Giving yourself time to rest and to integrate, to take a break, to go back to doing something fun. And then there's one last thing that I want to mention, is that get back to passion. What is it that brings you happiness? What is it that brings you joy? What is it that puts that smile on your face? What is it that lights you up from within? Do more of that. If you have a hobby that you have ignored because you're on your spiritual awakening journey now, or you're working, or you're trying to build a business, you didn't have time, go back to that. Go back to doing what you feel absolutely passionate about. And if you are in business, do more of what you're passionate about. It's okay wherever you are right now. You are right where you're meant to be. But like I said, if you're feeling burnt out, take time. Take time to integrate, to just apply what you have learned, and just give yourself the time for self-care. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do me a favor, hit the like button. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, I have a question for you, and I want to invite you to leave a comment below. what do you do to break through burnout whenever you're experiencing burnout? Are there any specific things that are working for you, or have you found that something is absolutely not working? Leave a comment below. Let me know, how are you handling a spiritual burnout? What do you do to get back to normal, to get back into the flow of just experiencing your life to the fullest? So here you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like I said, do me a favor, hit the like button, and also be sure to subscribe and check out that video about the empath survival tip on how to really manage your energy, how to protect your energy from all these outside sources, so you can really stay in alignment with who you are and not get bogged down with everything that's going on around you. But I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Until then, make an amazingly abundant, successful day. Namaste.